And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Michael Johnson joining us back here in studio. J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors, JBrothersYachtSales.com. Dr. Scott Anderson back in studio as well. Share the Love Charities, Inc., and Addiction Recovery Care of Tampa. Always helping you win in your real estate deals as well. Buying, selling, investing. You know, shop local, work local here. That's the deal with our show. All of our different expert contributors, 80 different categories of consumer advocates here that take time out of their busy schedules and come into the show. And almost 12 years on air now. August will be 12 years on air as the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace, no matter what you're facing. You can always reach out to our hotline. Email us through the website, consumerqb.com. All of our information online at consumerqb.com. And we always host a monthly gratitude party. This is our business mixer. It's an opportunity for you, our audience. You are invited. It's a free event. Come on out. We're going to have appetizers there. And it's always a great time, Dave.
Sure is. This one's going to be the Crown and Bull this time. Crown and Bull is a great ambiance place right downtown Dunedin. Going to have live music at this one location on that day, Thursday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. It's going to be always a great time, of course, as we get to meet and network with the other expert contributors. You get to come down, ask anybody any questions that you were having, wanted to get with them on the show. So come on down. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, come on out. Live music. Going to be a good time out there. 22nd at 6 o'clock, Crown and Bull, Dunedin. All right, a couple of hot listings here before we get started, and then we are going to jump into this great content. We're going to give you a boating update, a little boater safety, and from a luxury yacht advisor, Michael Johnson, here in studio with us. 221 Howard Drive, beautiful Bel Air Beach, Florida. One of my favorite listings now. We did a price improvement down to $2.75 million here on this beautiful property, 221 Howard Drive. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, exclusive Bel Air Beach location, gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage. Historic Howard Drive boasts one of the highest land elevations in the area. 1 block to beach access. You can see the dolphin-filled waters, sugar sand beaches, and take your boats out and enjoy the Gulf of America. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, let's talk about 10129 Little Road, another commercial listing on Little Road. This one is 2,300 plus square feet, over an acre of land, currently operating as a chiropractic office. We've got a commercial property for sale on Little Road, Newport Richey, Florida, over a dozen paid parking spaces, ADA compliant entrance with bathrooms, and you have a newer roof installed in 2020. Great opportunity to buy real estate. We've got about 50 current listings. You can see all of our listings online. Check out 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey. And if you're buying, selling, investing, refinancing, reach out. We'd love to talk to you. See all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Michael Johnson, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors. Welcome back in, sir.
We are back from off the water.
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Yeah, man.
How are we doing today, okay?
Great, man. Made
Good.
in America. Playing that little clip made me think about it. Are a lot of the boats and yachts, are they made in America, or are you talking overseas? Where are most of the yachts and boats
they're
from?
all over the place. There's quite a bit here.
Yep.
Solus here. You got Regal.
Mm-hmm.
So you get quite a bit that's still obviously manufactured in the United States, but then you get China, a little bit of China, like Quila's China.
Italian sounds like
Italian.
That seems like there's some Italian boats.
Yep, there's Italian. There's actually Cobri, which we're starting with Cobri Yachts, which is really big in Europe. That's actually an Italian made in Poland.
Yep.
So you get some of those. You get a lot of Netherlands.
Okay.
Lots in the Netherlands. Quite a bit,
really?
Actually. Yeah,
cool.
There's a lot of shipyards there. So,
interesting.
yeah, you can get them there. I mean, you've got international stuff all over the place, depending on. We work with Brazil. Now, Brazil's getting real hot. They got NX boats. That's the Hanover yachts. So there's a lot coming in from Brazil. So, it's everywhere. But yeah, we do a lot here in the United States, too. That's going to be interesting with the tariffs coming up. So,
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress on international boats coming in with tariffs.
Yeah,
which
we'll start making them here,
locally.
and then
yeah, they're making them here. That's going to end up pushing those models more and more. But they're also coming up with creative ways to get them here and use more American parts. Like Hanover's gotten really smart. They create the structures there, so the hull is built there, and then they ship it here, and we actually do the electronics, the plumbing, seakeepers, engines, the garments, everything's put together here in the United States, which is good because those are basically U.S. made. Most of them USA bred products.
U.S. jobs, assembled.
US jobs and,
I like Peter Navarro. He's a China hawk, and he talks a lot about trade. And he was saying too the same thing with autos. It's like, look, we've got to start manufacturing here in America again, because even with the automobiles. They talk about, but it's assembled in the United States. Well, yeah, it's assembled, but the transmission, some of the engine, most of the engine components, those are made overseas. Those are your higher paying jobs because it's more complex to build that transmission. Yeah. So we're assembling a lot here in the United States. But I like the plan. Let's bring a lot of it back on shore. Let's build American wealth.
Yeah, and there's boating communities. We've kind of talked about this in the past too. The massive amount the marine industry pumps into the economy.
Yeah,
and just boat sales alone in Tampa Bay, it's almost near $5 billion. So
wow,
it's a lot.
Annual.
It's just a lot annually. It's a massive economy. But if you put it all together, what Florida's really driving, just the West Coast for all marine put together is $23 billion. So it's a massive economy, and part of that is the sales. The question is, what is that importing part of those sales that's coming to the United States, and how much is that exposed to the tariffs, and does that really drive that much difference? Because a lot of it comes down to servicing, warranty work. That's all done locally.
Right.
It's just the parts, right? So where the parts are coming. And most of them are made in the United States. Mercury is going to be killing it because Mercury is still made in Wisconsin.
Good. I like that. Yeah, support the local brands. I think that's more and more prevalent. You see that. People trying to buy American, trying to support American-made products.
Yeah, it's good. You're going to see. I think you're going to see more of that support, but it's a driven economy, and I think with real estate, everybody's worried about the real estate markets and what's going on in the markets overall in Florida. You got to go where the money's going. I'm telling you, you kind of look at. You want to know where the next wave is. Watch the boating segment.
Yeah,
that literally gives you a good snapshot of what's going on and what's coming too, because you start to see more quality, higher quality boats. Right, you see like HCBs over the center consoles. You start to see these multi-million-dollar types boats.
Yeah,
more yachts, more of these higher end 40 to 60 footers. That drives into what is coming in the real estate market too, because one sometimes drives the other. We see a little bit that the real estate market will drive what their boating needs might be, or where they're going to, I'm buying a home and I intend to buy a boat later. People might, it doesn't matter. They're still going to want their wants, right? In the boats and wadding segment, they might get smarter on what type of real estate they buy, but they're still going to put money in their wants. I want to go explore the seaways. That's still going to be there. And you're going to be able to get a good snapshot of what's going on with the real estate market, where the real estate market might come, what type of money is coming into the area based on the yachting segment. I'll give you a good segment.
So it's a lead indicator.
It is, yeah. And the amount of people over here really is about 10% of the home ownership owns a boat.
Okay.
It's pretty big. What we're seeing is that Florida alone, in Pinellas and Hillsborough and Sarasota counties, we've seen a 10% increase in registration in boat ownership.
Nice.
So it's huge here. So there's still a lot of money coming here. There's still people moving here. I think you're going to continue to see that over the years. It's just a great segment of the state. For those that don't want to be in the Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is great, right? But there's some of us that are so attached to the Gulf side that there's reasons for that, and there's a lot of growth opportunity over here. And you're going to see it in the boating, and you're going to see it in real estate still.
It's interesting, too. I interviewed a construction law attorney yesterday, and he brought some interesting stats. But it was in Florida, approximately 67.3% of households own their homes. So this means about 2 out of 3 households in Florida are homeowners. And so you're saying about 10% of homeowners, so that's 67%. That's a big segment of the market that are.
It's a huge segment, boats. And it is smart for if you're a real estate agent, a realtor listening to this show. It is very smart to get very accustomed and understanding the lingo and what goes on with the yachting industry within your career, because it does open up new opportunities, understanding who you're working with, where they're coming from, what their ambitions are and their passions are. You might find out as a gentleman, I've worked with multiple clients that are like, hey, you know what, I've got my boat, I'm going to go look for the real estate that fits my boat. You get it a lot.
Yeah.
And that has to be considered, because that then as a realtor, you start to open your door to the lifestyle of Florida. I provide more than just a home.
Right.
I give you the whole gamut. I'm giving you all of it. And I think that is really important from a business standpoint, to be very versed, very understanding to that aspect, because it puts you ahead of everybody else. How do I stand out as a realtor?
Yeah.
Especially in business. I want to know how I stand out. These are ways to stand out. Get to know the boating industry, and it might be a great way to go.
I love that, Michael. So Michael Johnson, J.Brothers, Luxury Yacht Advisors, JBrothersYachtSales.com, JBrothersYachtSales.com. Talk about your realtor program, because that's really cool program that you have, where you're offering essentially a way for realtors to make commissions by joining you in yacht sales.
We are really open up the gamut on working with real estate agents in these types of fashions and giving them the power to provide a lifestyle to their clients. And there's a multitude of benefits that comes with it besides increasing commission opportunities, multiple transaction opportunities, and staying in front of your clients, keeping to your clients, being more than just an advisor to their home, being more an advisor to their lifestyle. Here in Florida, as we said, 10% of homeowners are already going to have some type of ownership in the marine industry, so you might as well take advantage of it. That's a lot. You're talking 1 out of 10 owning a boat, with the possibility of that growth coming, reaching up further. I would not. It would be not. I don't think smart. I don't use the right words. It's not smart. I would definitely put it in the realm of that. I would take the steps now to learning that industry, and we do offer programs to educate realtors, giving advantage of the segments, how to get involved, but also not adding more work or time to their schedules, because they're focused in real estate. We don't want to take that away from them. So,
right.
Yeah.
And when you're selling real estate, I've got like vacant lots and land for sale. For example, Dave, can you pull up the Miller Bayou listing? I want to show this one just for an example. 5274 Miller Bayou Drive. So, for example, as a real estate agent, you've got to know, the type of boat. So, for example, this is a 1/4 acre lot. It's got a water view. Nice. Two sides of the property are on the water, but you notice that bridge there.
Yep.
So you have access to the bayou, but you've got to have some type of a flats boat, something that's going to have a helm that will kind of lay down flat. The fold down type setup, right?
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on here. So you've got between the depth of the channel.
Yeah, and that picture was taken at low tide. A photographer should have been scheduled to go at high tide.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But at least you know when it's low tide. But if you're low tide, you're going to be outboards. You're going to depend on, then again, what dock do you have, because that's going to determine your size and weights.
Yep.
Right? So what I can actually get in there to lift that boat out of the water, and then as you said, I've got a bridge. So what's your height on your overall bridge height on the vessel? Because that'll determine if you can get out of there only at low tide, or can I get out of there at medium to high tides? What size vessel can I purchase now overall besides what my dock will allow?
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff to go along with this, and that's why you kind of bring us in.
Yeah.
We'll help with all this stuff. So, I mean, you probably have a realtor going, I don't really want to know all this stuff. Don't worry about it. You got us. That's why you call us. And we can look at this and do a channel review. So if you have a listing and you were like, oh, you know what, I think the value of highlighting the water access is a lot more beneficial at this point, call us in. We'll do a full channel analysis, and I can actually give you some boats we would recommend.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Yeah, so that was a beautiful property there. Access to the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, no, Gulf of America, that is.
Easy.
Whoa, the habits,
we can delete that part out, right?
Yeah, we got to edit that one. Yeah, there you go. Michael Johnson in studio, J. Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors, 813-917-1894. If you want to consult, talk to him. He is the best in the business. He's going to help you with all of your decisions, help you make a correct decision on budgets and things of that nature as well. 813-917-1894. What else are you seeing out there, Michael? What's new in the world of boating? I know there's been some pretty terrible accidents out there lately too.
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on with the accidents. There's been more on I've caught in social media in the last 30 days than I've probably seen in the last year.
Yeah.
You got the ferry one in Clearwater you were just talking about before we got on, and then what's the other? Was another one there was a seawall hit and flipped over the entire boat with family on it, but they all got out. Thank God, that was safe.
Is it alcohol involved most of the time? I would think people get on the boat, they get on the water, and they just think, oh, I can drink more because there's going to be less traffic. Cops pulling me over. It's a false premise, man.
Yeah, it's a false premise, but there's also not a lot of education. You don't need a license. They're changing that, but a lot of the boat owner segment of the 40 to 65 years of age, it's really the heaviest boating segment. That segment of still age of year born is still not privy to or being pushed into having a license for boating or going through classes. You can just go buy a boat and there we go.
Yep.
The insurance companies control it a little bit, but yes, there's not a lot of safety that comes along with it. So you have the Coast Guard and all them trying to really manage it as best they can, which they do an amazing job already. They'll board you pretty quick if they find you kind of breaking laws, like obviously boating around and intoxicated.
Yep.
But there's not much you could do besides trying to just be on the defense all the time, keeping your eyes out. But you do the best you can. But scenarios that are going on, they're just really hard to avoid unless
Yeah. Eat a sandwich, man. Take a pub sub with you. Take a pub sub, eat a sandwich, you're good.
Yeah, a lot of water.
Yeah,
you got water around you.
Water.
Might as well just drink some water.
There you go. Mix some water in, take a pub sub, and remember, the sun's going to start draining you more and more as we go into the summer. All right, quick break. Right back. More with Michael Johnson, J.Brothers Yachting, and also military recruitment up. I got a quick clip I want to play. Military recruitment is up by tremendous percentages coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel good story of the day. Also, you have cities experiment with reusable cups at chain restaurants is smashing success as diners return them all over town. Feel good story coming up.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon BRimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon BRimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back here. Brandon BRimes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty in studio. We got Michael Johnson joining us in studio here. J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors. He's our boating and yachting expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Always helping you win as a consumer advocate, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's take a look at a couple of our hot listings here. We've got some beautiful listings. 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Waimama. This one's down in Hillsborough County. 322 Smart Home, 1844 square feet. Now, I love these communities that have these beautiful lagoons. Check out this resort-style Crystal Lagoon, a shimmering multi-acre aquatic paradise. Just imagine if you're a kid growing up, man. You're not going to be bored on the weekends there. You're having fun out there. Access to the volleyball courts, nature trails, dog parks, and a vibrant clubhouse. Great opportunity in Waimama, Florida. Beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got some really nice listings. By the way, we sell vacant land, commercial, residential properties here with the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 1758 Winfield Circle in Clearwater, Florida. This is a great listing in Clearwater. I love the backyard because you've got that open air pool, fenced in backyard, gorgeous kitchen with that lighter color style that people really like. Beautiful large bar there in the kitchen, stainless steel appliances, completely renovated. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 2746 square feet, 1/3 of an acre lot, and a split floor plan. 2 primary suites, each have an ensuite as well. No HOA, no flood insurance required. Although we're not supposed to say that as realtors. Hey, look, you might want to have flood insurance anyways, just even if it's not in a flood zone. That's what you want to say as a realtor. Check out all of our listings at Platinum MVP Team. .kw.com. All right, Michael Johnson, boating and yachting. Hanover is a hot boat right now? I'm hearing a lot about Hanover here in Tampa Bay.
Hanover's getting big. They are getting very, very popular, and it's just it's a great starter boat, and it's a lot of boat for the money.
When you say starter boat, what's price points are you talking?
It ranges. You can get the open bow, the 20-footers. You got 25 to 30-footer open bows. On cuddy cabins, you're talking about the mid 100 range, 100,000 range. And somebody go, well, that's not really a starter. It is when you talk about day boats and getting into 25, 30 foots for the amenities they put on these things.
Now that's something you live on. You could live on it.
You could do weekends on it.
Weekends on it.
I don't know if I necessarily would live on it.
Got it.
But
okay,
you could definitely do weekends. Weekends. You can go down to Sarasota and all that for Clearwater for the weekend. Yeah. They're great boats for that. And they're intracoastal boats. They are outboards. You could get a lot on it, but you could entertain a lot of people on it, which is great for Tampa because you're not. Right. Most you're going to be doing around here is entertaining friends and family.
Yep.
And these boats have really opened up that gamut to go, look, I want a lot, and I could do the grills off the back. I could do bar seats off the back. It's got big swing platforms. I got good outboards. I got a lot of power to get out of there. I could go off the golf and do some fishing. But there are so many great options that they put in these boats for the price. They're 30-footers, and we have a 305 model that fully loaded is $250, $260.
I'll take
now,
two.
Considering, that'd be two Regals because Regal, great boat, 33 Express or 33 XOs.
Yeah,
they're going brand new at $575.
Wow.
So you have a massive difference in price.
Right.
You're looking at quality. That is your determination when you walk on board them to find out if you like the quality between one or the other. That is personal choice more than anything else. But they run the same. They feel the same. They get up and go the same speed. I think in regards to what you get, especially as a starter boat, you're not going in at $500,000. You're kind of going in at the half of that price at $250, $300.
Right.
It is a way better option, especially for a new boat.
Now, can you buy or is leasing an option, or do you recommend buying, or do you do both?
No, we don't do lease. Leasing it doesn't happen in the boating industry.
Okay.
It's either you just buy it or you don't buy it.
Got it.
Really, we get down to is it's cash or you're financing.
Financing, got it.
But these are easy to finance. You could do actually 20 years on some of these vessels, so you could get your cost down a little bit per month. You can get it down. But yeah, they're just great options in the market. But again, smart to move now. Whatever you're doing, some of these international boats, there's tariffs will be applied, even though they're still at a great price over some of the even local makes. The prices will be going up soon, so it might be something you could look at if you're looking at buying now.
I want to get out there and do some. I'd like to look on Instagram and see the spearfishing. I mean, to me, that looks like so much fun. You mentioned the grill. You go down there, spearfish, pull up a couple groupers, grill it right there on the back of the boat. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. And again, how you use it is how you use it. But there's so many versatilities of these boats that you can get into. It's just it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, cruise down to the Keys. Just take a trip, just take a few weeks, go down to the Keys, bump over to the islands.
That was really a great run. You get a boat that's 30, 40 feet, that's doing about 30 knots on a cruise.
Yeah.
You could hit most of the Gulf all in one day. You could hop down from Venice to Marco Island. You could do quite a bit in a day, but most will take a little longer. They'll stop at some spots and go overnight and enjoy the restaurants and the towns. That's the best part of boating too. Is exploration, right? And
that'd be fun.
Spending time in the local towns.
Yeah, I love that. All right, how do you want people to connect with you, Michael Johnson?
You can get a hold of us at 727-228-2627 is our direct line, or you can email me directly at mjohnson@jbrothersyachtSales.com. You can also check out a line of boats that are the best-selling boats here in Tampa and throughout Florida at bestsellingboats.com. We have got that up and running now. It'll show you the list price, and it'll actually show you the best price based on the average discount we've seen our clients report back on purchasing boats.
Nice.
It'll give you an idea where you can purchase a boat right now.
Bestsellingyachts.com.
Bestsellingboats.com.
Boats.com. Bestsellingboats.com. Michael Johnson, J.Brothers, Luxury Yacht Advisors. Thanks for coming in, man.
You got it. Anytime. Love joining you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Dr. Scott Anderson joining us in studio. I want to talk about military recruiting as well. And also, he's got a topic today. Are we going to do the phone addiction to phones and veterans? Veterans. All right. Good stuff, man. Coming up, Dr. Scott Anderson, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Some changes I'll let you know tomorrow morning.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon BRimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Dr. Scott Anderson joining us in studio. Share the Love Charities and Addiction Recovery Care Tampa. We also have Hero Fest coming up Saturday, May 17th. We're going to talk about that. Military recruitment is up, and Dr. Scott helps us with the mental health crisis in America. We're going to talk about cell phones and that effect. Also, we all know how cell phones can affect many different segments of not just children, but adults too. All right, a couple of hot listings here, and then we'll jump into it. 14420 Bailey Hill Road, Brooksville. We got a property in Brooksville here that is vacant land available for sale. You can purchase this property, vacant land for sale, up in Bailey Hill Road in Brooksville, Florida. This one's 3-acre agricultural zone, unimproved land. Looks like it's got some trees there, so you'll have to bring down some trees. And 5-minute drive to the public boat ramps leading out to the Gulf of America. Great opportunity to buy real estate. Beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, let's take a look at another one of our listings here. Let's look at the South Taylor Road. South Taylor Road is out in Seffner, Florida. Sticking with the vacant land theme. 2.4 acres, RDC6. So you can put duplexes on this property. Great investment opportunity. Buy land, build some duplexes, and you're going to have a great return on it. Prime vacant land in one of Hillsborough's fastest growing communities. Buy some dirt out there. Save South Taylor Road, Seffner, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
All right, Dr. Scott Anderson, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man, good stuff. So I like the topic today. A lot of people are, addicted to these devices. They go everywhere we go, man.
Addiction is a real crisis. It's really happening.
Yeah.
You figure, when was the first real smartphones? Around 2008 or so, when they started becoming popular. So it hasn't even been that long since we've had these smartphones, and it's an epidemic. Cell phone addiction is something. The reason I'm bringing it up, I think you and I were talking off camera with regards to, I was going to the gym. Now, I generally like to stay pretty healthy. I go to the gym, and I'll tell you what, I can hardly even work out anymore because everybody at the gym is on their cell phone. And they're taking 30 minutes in between sets. So, one exercise takes them 3 days. Yep. So I'm like, I can't even get a workout. I have to go in and say, hey, how many texts do you have left? And how long are you going to be here? Or you finished with your video so I can work in? It's crazy how dependent people have become on cell phones.
It really is.
I understand technology's great, but it can be easily abused, and it can cause horrible consequences.
And try to take it away from a teenager, like you're disciplining them. That's a big deal.
That's one of I love bringing in stats here, but one of the stats is 44%. I'm sorry, you're looking at adults. 40% or more that have cell phones said they haven't been away from it for 24 hours.
Right.
Half of the Americans that use cell phones have not been away from it. And this is over years for over 24 hours.
Yeah. When's the last time you did a detox on your cell phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Never.
It's pretty much you're going to have to start doing that in order to function. There's some good stats out there. 60% of Americans literally admit to having cell phone addiction. Now, I think that's vastly underreported. I think it's more than that. I don't really know any adults in my circle that aren't really addicted to their cell phones, other than probably myself. The average American clicks on, I love this one, clicks on their cell phone to check it 144 times a day.
Wow.
They're checking their phone. I did a little math in my head. I don't know how accurate I am, but that would be like 9 times an hour, give or take.
Yeah.
And that's like once every, I think it's like 6 minutes.
Yeah, because you're bored and you're just thinking, I wonder what I'm missing.
Yeah, and that's
fear of loss.
One of the consequences is thinking that you're missing out on something. That actually is part of some of the mental health issues that come along with it. 71% spend more time. This has to do with you and other married and people with spouses.
Yep.
71% of the population with phones in America spent more time on their phones than they did with their significant others.
Right.
That's
that.
spouses. That's kids. That's brothers and sisters.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
It is ridiculous. And what's funny is too, 54% of the people polled said they would rather spend time on their phone rather than with their significant other.
Catching up on Facebook or whatever.
And then you got some of the damaging parts of it too. Is 20% of car accidents are caused from people distracted on their cell phones.
Yes.
I've never had a close call incident or someone that I was yelling at in the car that wasn't on their cell phone being distracted, causing traffic issues.
Terrible.
So that's horrible.
Let me get this in real quick too, because I just happened to have this feel-good story. It's more than 90% of schools in England ban smartphone use.
Good.
13 U.S. states have already taken action. So 90% schools implemented smartphone bans without government mandates, demonstrating strong school autonomy. A survey of 15,000 schools said that nearly all elementary schools and 90% of middle schools have some sort of restriction. Education secretary, so it goes on and talks about that, citing evidence that smartphone bans help improve student focus and academic performance. It makes sense.
Absolutely, without question. There's some literature out recently on this that I was reading, and there was a couple segments on television that I watched, and it absolutely interferes with the education process in students. Children spend approximately, and this is just screen time, 6 to 8 hours a day. And that's non-related to school, but 6 to 8 hours a day being distracted. And there's some physiological issues that go along with all this time, screen time, that I'm going to get into under the consequences of this. But, 44% of adults say that they get anxiety attacks from not having their phone.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Like if you walk out, for me, I walk outside, I get in the car, I get in the garage, I back out, and if I can't hardly make it out of my gate, my gated community there before I'm like, nope, I don't have my phone. Like it's literally like within 90 seconds, right? Yeah. Like you realize it, like it's not there. It's like, wait, this part of me is missing. I got to go back and get my phone.
And anybody that's lost their phone temporarily or misplaced it knows that chilling, terror that goes through the back of their head. When they think they lost it, the terror that goes through them, it's traumatic.
It's almost like your wallet, like your wallet used to be.
Yeah,
right. It's like, I lost my wallet.
Because you have all your information, everything on there.
Here's that stat too about the United States. So U.S. smartphone policies are managed at a state level, resulting in varying approaches. States like Florida and California have passed formal bans, while others offer grants or encourage legal action. Research consistently shows that limiting smartphone use in classrooms benefits students by improving concentration, learning outcomes, and mental health.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just why did that need to be a study? I mean, that's like saying, when I don't give my kid tons of sugar and sweets, they're more reserved and calm and relaxed. Okay, that's
another Doge fine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's not transgender whatever in Africa, right?
Yeah. But that leads to the consequences of all this, and here they are. I've kind of summarized them a little bit, but you got one of the top 4 or 5 are sleep disturbance. Anxiety, depression, cognitive and attention issues, the one that you just covered, impaired relationships, and loneliness and isolation. But absolutely all of those are affected greatly. And then you say, why? So let's get to the etiology. When you overstimulate or overuse of the phone stimulates the brain, and there's chemicals in there, neurotransmitters, and the main culprit that affects thinking and cognition and attention is GABA amino butyric acid. I know it's a mouthful. It's just called GABA. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it is the neurochemistry. It's an inhibitor. Neurotransmitter, and what it does is it creates calm and euphoria in the brain, and it helps to control the fight or flight response, the fear and anxiety response.
Got it.
So overstimulation of the phone lowers GABA levels to the point where you become anxious because there's no inhibitory response.
Okay.
And the same token, the other culprit is dopamine. Dopamine is like the pleasure neurotransmitter in the brain. And when you start to get rewarded, these little hits of dopamine every time you swipe right and look at something interesting on there hundreds of times, you're overstimulating the amount of dopamine your brain is used to.
Yeah.
So it creates what they call dopamine nucleus incumbent pathways. That's a fancy way of saying like these little pathways for pleasure. So the brain remembers it and says, oh, when I'm feeling down or low on dopamine, where do I get it? And then it creates an addiction to the phone, so that every time you think you're down and you want some, you go to the phone and you stimulate your brain.
Yeah.
So that creates depression, anxiety, et cetera, et cetera.
Dr. Scott Anderson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes. Share the Love Charities Addiction Recovery Care of Tampa. ShareTheLoveCharities.org. ARC of Tampa Bay.com. Can we get to the military clip here?
Absolutely.
Let's do. I want to play this quick clip and talk a little bit about the military.
Now, Trump mentioned there those recruitment numbers. What are we seeing on that front?
Well, John, we're seeing a stunning turnaround. Overall recruitment started to dip in 2021 and 22. And by 2023, the Pentagon was in a full-blown crisis. That year, the Army fell 25% short of their recruitment goal. The Navy was 20% below target. And the Air Force failed to reach their goal for the first time in nearly 25 years, falling 10% short. 2024 did see a slight rebound, with the Air Force and Army hitting their target numbers. But it's worth noting the Army lowered their goal that year by 15%. So the numbers are a bit deceiving. Yeah. And the Navy still fell about 10% short of their target.
But that all appears to be really changing now. Tell us what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, 6 months into fiscal year 2025, every single branch is on pace to smash their recruiting goals. The Navy is tracking towards their best year in 2 decades. The Air Force has seen a 20% spike compared to last year. And the Army, their only problem is finding enough space for all their new recruits. Last year, they had 55,000 enlistments. With 6 months to go, they're already at 52,000. Wow. After years of falling short.
There you go. So the Trump bump in the military as well.
Welcome back to patriotism and a love for country, and restoring conservative values of honor and duty.
That's right.
To community and family. And when you incentivize them and you treat them right and give them opportunity for career and to be patriots, and instead of being admonished and and subject to perversion and all kinds of other horrible things. DEI. It's just no wonder. I mean, so again, a no-brainer. I knew this one was going to fix itself as soon as it got in there.
It's something like 2/3, 60-something% are from the South, and also the military, about 65% are also Republican, 60, maybe more.
Yeah, conservative values, even if they're not Republicans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that military. Speaking of that, we got Dave's part of this event in Palm Harbor. It's called Hero Fest, coming up Saturday, May 17th, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., presented by Curlew Hills Memorial AVS, honoring our local hometown heroes, downtown Palm Harbor. So, free concert, admission, Palm Harbor Hero Fest coming up. And I know you do a lot for the military community as well, Dr. Scott. What's your thoughts around military and?
Well, I just finished a movie, a documentary that I wanted to see, to mention on here. It's being presented May 3rd, and it's called The Bide Society. It's a documentary called Protecting the Command Center, A Call to Action. Basically, it's about veteran suicide and traumatic brain injury. And what they did was they gathered a bunch of experts around the world and here in the United States, medical physicians, brain surgeons, et cetera, et cetera. We have Miss America narrated it from 2023, Grace, and a whole bunch of other folks got involved to put together this documentary to kind of outline, well, what is the cause and the treatment and the protocols currently for TBI and the suicide, and where can we improve and what can we do to make this better, because it's a broken system.
Yeah.
So that was my part of this, because I deal with mental health and substance abuse at my clinic, and I've worked with traumatic brain injuries and PTSD, and I think people think that traumatic brain injury and suicide is caused from like one etiology, one pathway, and it's not.
Right.
Traumatic brain injury can cause people to be suicidal, and mental health can cause people to have PTSD. And so there's many different variants of treatment that needed to be addressed. And they have, screenings that the military needs to use to be able to help these folks or screen people out. So that they're not grossly affected by it.
Yeah, it's important. Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is at May 3rd. Go to the website. It's at www.bidesociety.com, and that's www.bidesociety.com. It's May 3rd. I worked with Dr. Kenneth Davis, who brought me in on this, which I'm very thankful to be part of. And go to the website. It's a plethora of information. And if you want to get involved, contact us, and we'd be glad to have anybody on board.
All right, quick break. Right back. More with Dr. Scott Anderson here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Share the Love Charities, Addiction Recovery Care Tampa, and also Feel Good Story of the Day. City's experiment with reusable cups at chain restaurants is smashing success as diners return them all over town. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune, at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Blue Moon Estate Sales of Pinellas County for all of your estate sale needs. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. Reach out to Jennifer. Tell her you heard about her here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. And stop by their store, the Blue Moon Store, at 1479 South Belcher in Largo. 1479 South Belcher in Largo. And that's BlueMoonEstateSales.com. SJ Movers and Junk Removal, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 727-717-0846 for all your moving and junk removal. 727-717-0846. SJ Movers and Junk Removal. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. We're in studio here talking with Dr. Scott Anderson, cell phone addiction and how parents can help with that, help their children with that. Feel Good Story coming up here as well in just a moment, but we got a beautiful listing on Merricamp Road. This is a commercial property, 5,725 square feet, 1 acre of land, multiple income streams, generating a lot of cash flow. Seller financing is available with a strong down payment at 9594 Southeast Merricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. Great opportunity to buy real estate. There's 2 rentable sections in the back. The owner has a cash cow here, and he is looking to retire. Parking lots, plenty of parking spaces as well. Cash cow at 9594 Southeast Merricamp Road in beautiful Ocala, Florida. And if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, refinance, or purchase real estate, we would love to talk to you. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country. Tell me something good.
All right, here's our Feel Good Story of the day. Petaluma, California successfully completed a citywide experiment in collaboration with restaurants to implement a return and reuse beverage cup program. Over a 3-month trial, customers used and returned over 220,000 reusable cups without additional charges. The program, supported by major chains like Starbucks and Taco Bell, was designed to reduce disposable cup waste and involved a network of purple bins for cup returns. Feedback was overwhelmingly positive, with 83% of customers aware that the program and 80% supporting its continuation. Petaluma residents and business owners expressed pride in the initiative, and now organizers are exploring ways to make the program permanent, potentially partnering with private entities to expand its reach. There you have it, our feel-good story of the day. What do you think about that idea? Pretty cool?
Obviously, that's a no-brainer. I mean, these things were thought of many years ago, and again, I'm not sure why they weren't implemented, or maybe they were and they lost favor. I don't know, but that's just a no-brainer to I mean, remember as kids we would recycle bottles.
Yes.
And that was a whole big thing. So
10 cents a piece.
Yeah, so I couldn't see why not plastic. So.
Yeah, I'd take my little what do you call it? The little red wagon. Remember the red wagon?
Yeah, of course.
I'd take that red wagon,
take
a radio
a big
flyer.
wheel, go around, and
I picked up a bunch of bottles. I picked up $3 or $4, you know, by returning 30 bottles or whatever it was. But a little extra cash flow as a kid, man.
Free soda.
Yeah, there you go. Some bubble gum. All right, Dr. Scott Anderson, what kind of tips do you have around parenting and working with these cell phones?
Well, that's listen, parents, please, if you want to help your kid, the best way is to limit screen time. Just limit. I know it's easy parenting when you can give them something that flashes and makes noises and you can go watch the game or relax, and there's a time and place for that, but take control of these things. Before, I just watched a clip on, I think it was on TikTok, where a 12-year-old girl had a meltdown on a plane because they took her iPad away from her, and she literally made the plane turn around and deboard and everything.
Wow.
And that's what this is going to lead to. Limit screen time, especially cell phones. Kids shouldn't be having these cell phones at their leisure.
What age do you think you should have a kid?
On a cell phone? I'm more conservative, so I would say into their teens.
Late teens.
Late teens.
Get them in their maybe when they're car driving.
Yeah, exactly. 15, 16,
like
when
that.
there's responsibilities and they need to check in, and you slowly build up on it. Here's the phone for the night. Check in with me, and then you earned responsibility. You earn more privilege with it.
Turn the phone in at night.
Exactly.
That's
that's so parents can have their safety issues and concerns addressed, but the kid is earning that use. But
by the way,
late teens.
The Florida State Attorney General suing TikTok because they're, the premise is, the pictures go away and these kids are getting caught up in these things. And the kids end up committing suicide because of these explicit pictures getting out. And I guarantee you that happens after midnight.
That's one of those consequences of the chemical imbalances in the brain and judging yourself against all these Instagram models and millionaires and stuff like that.
And the predators too, saying, hey, give me this picture.
Predators, suicidal ideations. There's a lot. I'm telling you, it is a scourge of our society, and it's really, really causing a lot of brain rot.
And it's totally unnecessary. It just takes a little discipline, Get rid of the phone, pull out some books, man.
But it comes to the parents. Engage with your kids, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Go have fun. Go do so. We live in Florida. There's tons of activities to do. Find something that is individual, and I'm telling you, your kids will respond tenfold.
That's right. Get them outside, play ball and catch, and get them outside
when
doing
your
something.
kids engaged with you and they're invested in you, they'll respect you, they'll listen to you, and you can discipline better.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I like the country song. It says something about get dirt on your hands or something.
Yeah, under
climb
your nails,
a tree. Go climb a tree. Do something as a kid.
Live life.
That's
instead
right.
Of existing.
All right, Dr. Scott Anderson, thanks for coming in, man. Check them out online. ShareTheLoveCharities.org. ARC of Tampa Bay. That's Addiction Recovery Care of Tampa. ARCTampaBay.com. And also, we had Michael Johnson on the front end. He's our boating and yachting expert. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.